Welcome back. It has been 44 years since Kulthum, the famous singer, died. The most prominent of all Egyptian and Arab women singers initiated her career in the early decades of the 20th century. First as a reciter of the Holy Quran and then as a singer who started with short songs, some of which she appeared in the 6 films in which she starred between 1935 and 1948, before she established her landmark brand of long songs, and she performed publicly until only a few years before her death. To know more about the famous singer Kulthum, we are joined by Mr. Osama Futtaim, and he is a music critic. Hello, sir, and welcome to our show.
Hi, ma'am. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you, sir. So, it's always difficult to speak about such a legend. I mean, I always say that not enough can be said about this great legend. So, but where do you want to start?
You are totally correct. She was given the title, the 4th pyramid.
Yeah.
She was given the symbol of the East planet,
Yeah.
Kawkab al-Sharq, which is, something nobody else has ever gotten that. She started her singing by wearing clothes as a boy, because it was not appropriate, and that was under the supervision of her father. Her song still touches the heart of at least my generation and the few generations before me, and I imagine still the young people would listen to her later. The youth in general do not like her in the beginning, but after that she becomes in the blood.
Yeah.
So speaking about Kulthum is speaking about greatness, speaking about talent, speaking about someone coming from very humble origins to being the most important person ever in the minds and spirits of the singing community, of the people who listen to songs, which is all of us.
Yeah.
So Kulthum, when we speak about her, you just pick the point, and there is not enough said about any of them. I would start really actually by her Paris performance in the Olympia in 1969, I think. Egypt has suffered the defeat of 1967, and she decided to put all her heart into bringing money to the military activities or efforts, and for that she went all over the world, all over the Arab world mainly, to perform for free, not taking anything into her pocket, and basically people bought the tickets, gave contributions, basically gave her many soul presents. I mean, her museums here, the museum here just speaks about it, and she gave all that to the military activities in order to regain our pride after that bad defeat. In the Olympia, she is one of the 3 landmarks who performed there. Jack Earl is one, Kulthum is the second, and the third I'm not sure of the name right now. But the head of the Olympia was so surprised that people just, the lines continued forever and ever and ever, and they wanted her to, the tickets were bought like that as soon as they knew that she is in town, that she was coming. The tickets were bought by everyone, whether Arabs or the Arab community in Paris or the French people who wanted to, whoever knew her before, or who
are
were
loving
curious.
people in general.
Exactly,
Yeah.
in general, absolutely, the French are. And they are just curious about seeing her. And on that day, the first performance, she's tripped while going onto the stage. She did not fall, but at that point, the famous picture of someone kissing her feet on stage, that doesn't really happen to any singer. Never did before, never will. This is only given to some royalties. And it's not well perceived, actually. But in her case, the famous picture is of someone unknown just couldn't bear that her feet was twisted, and went in front of thousands of people kissing her feet because of the love, of the spirit that she gave, of who she was. So
But did they-
Kulthum is that.
People in, of course, all the Arabs in Paris wanted to go to this concert to see Kulthum, but to see Kulthum as a singer or as a person representing their country.
As a symbol, more or less, especially the political circumstances at that
back
point.
then,
Yeah,
yeah.
circumstances at that point. Basically, she was saying that we are still alive. We are the voice of Egypt. We are not dead. We are not defeated. We will gain our victory. So it's
That's what happened.
that's
Yeah,
exactly what
thank
happened.
God, yeah.
Yes. And she was part by her contribution, even going to the army in Suez and visiting their camps and all that. That was part of lifting up the spirits because the defeat was unthinkable and unimaginable. Of 1967, the 6 Days War, it was not something easy on all of us, on any of us actually.
Yeah.
And she was just didn't resign to bad feelings or depression, but no, she worked her way to contribute in her own way on bringing things back to the way it should be.
So for Fatima, I'm going to ask you a question that I asked to our dear guest, Mrs. Hedayat, before you, which is, and I know it's difficult to answer, but try your best here. What is your favorite type of songs, color of art that Kulthum sang? Is it the early part, the religious preaching? Is it the love songs, the romantic songs? Is it the patriotic songs? Is it the orchestra-like, symphony-like songs? I mean, what is it?
You're right. It's very hard question.
Yeah.
Nobody can really say my favorite song. Style. Okay. Some people are very successful in order style they decide. She was not only had great voice and personality, but she was intelligent. She used all her vocal capacities and capabilities in different ways. So when she was young, it was natural to sing small songs, romantic, light, especially that she started by memorizing the Quran, reading it and reciting it in public. And then when she became a little bit famous, sang to the radio, then she decided that, okay, I'll sing for the power people. So she sang for the king. And and then she sang for Ahmad Shawqi. So she decided to lift the taste of the people into a higher level of culture, which is absolutely something, unfortunately, none of today guys who sing, I would not call them singers, really, guys who sing and ladies who sing, they don't think about that. It's maybe the times had changed, but anyways. But no, my favorite would be always her songs with Abdul Wahab. Even though Sumbati and Zakaria Ahmed have very remarkable songs, but because of the the circumstances of Inta Umri, which was they met in 1965. Everybody sang in the revolution's anniversary, if you want. So in 1965, he asked Abdul Wahab and Kulthum that, hey, cooperate together. And I don't want to hear it. As simple as that. Because he had asked them gently the year before. And they said, okay, sure, Mr. President, and all that.
Yeah.
And then a year later, they still didn't do anything. So I thought,
Well, he knew when these two cooperate what the result would be.
the result would be Inta Umri, and they called it then the meeting of the clouds.
yeah.
Bad translation, but that's how they called it. It rhymes well in Arabic. But it is one of the
skies. Let's say
of the skies. There's no two skies. I mean, we only have one. But anyways, that's what they called it. And it was, the best of the best in comparison. They put their hearts, both of them, especially it's coming from someone who we cannot say no to because they loved him a lot, both of them.
They are both, of course, prominent figures at the time. Sir, it seems that you know many information about Kulthum. It seems
Yes,
you've
I love
read
her.
a lot about her. So, can you tell us stories that not known about the person of Kulthum, not the singer, if you know any?
Okay. She was sarcastic. And she was, I don't know if it's appropriate to say it or not on air, but she used to make fun of Najat. Najat Sarya. Can I say a story like that or not?
Sure.
All right.
Noting that Najat, of course, is a big
Absolutely.
artist.
She
We have
is
lovable.
We have to testify to that.
And
He's just saying
Yeah,
what
I understand.
Kulthum did.
Yeah.
so she was, she was
Loved by millions as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. This story, I know it from a good friend of mine who is the son of Ma'moun al-Shinawi, engineer Nagi Shinawi, who said that she was invited to, she invited Najat. She knew that she loved Kamil al-Shinawi, or he loved her, and she was, coming in the presence of Kulthum, but decided that, hey, I will not be intimidated, Najat. So she, Kulthum wanted to invite her. Hey, would you like to eat some of that? Would you like to eat some of this? And she says, no, 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 no. And then, okay, do you want to eat that? So she said, no. Okay, would you like to squirrel on that? So everybody laughed on that, meaning that I'm not sure what does it to make. So that was a funny story. So she was sarcastic and she was funny, and she basically knew exactly her worth. So people, when they saw her at one point or another, they just kissed her hands, enjoyed, just not believing that they are in the presence of greatness. And she was so cool about that. She was intelligent enough to not get afraid from the people, because, hey, when you are in that status, that fame, even nowadays, movie stars, people will literally attack you because they love you. I mean, hey, I want your watch. I want to, not because they don't have a watch, but they want something from you. For example, I'll give another for example, Pelé, when he quit football, he went out of the playground with only his underwears. They took everything he was wearing, not because they wanted him naked, but they wanted something from Pelé. And so on. That's the level of people, of love they had.
Absolutely. Sir, again, back to the patriotic songs, if you will allow me, because, again, Kulthum's songs, I guess, recorded, or along with other means, they were a mean of recording events in Egypt's history and Egypt's society for years. With King Farouk, then with the 1952 revolution, with President Nasser, with the nationalization of the Suez Canal, in the fight against the triple aggression, when we built the high dam, when there was this labor unions in Egypt, and Arab nationalism, in supporting movements of freedom across the Arab world and the African world, and you name it.
Yes.
Before preparing for the 73 victory and so on. So, and we shiver sometimes when we listen to those patriotic songs. Until now,
absolutely,
when you hear them, you just shiver.
Yes.
So, talk to me more about these patriotic songs and the role they had on the emotions, on the feelings, on the wigdan, on the consciousness,
on the consciousness of our people, the spirits. Okay,
spirits of Egyptians and Arab world.
In 1956 attack, the
triple aggression.
Yes, the triple aggression. Britain and France said that we will hit the radio station. They knew at that point we will hit it. At that point, basically, that's when actually they did it later, but then we were required to have songs to basically go on air to say to the people, hey, fight for your lives, fight for your country, your country, fight for yourselves, and
to engrave the sense of unity.
Exactly. Yeah. And then she made the song Ana Shab. And that was under, because there was no electricity, so she did it under candlelights. She memorized, they made the singing, the lyrics and the music under candlelights overnight. They did it, and it was aired, and basically to just put people on. Hey, guys, your life, your country is in danger, go out. We are the people, and I am the people, actually. We will do that. And this song says that I am the Egyptian people. She embodied that spirit. And that's one of the many great moments in her life. Great moments that she was the voice of Egypt, and nobody can deny that, and nobody will reach that status ever again. That's one. Another one would be وقف الخلق, when that's basically Egypt speaks about itself. She took one old song, one old piece of poem, and basically to glorify Hafiz Ibrahim, I think, and she glorified Egypt, which he glorifies Egypt at that point. Just speaking about, hey, people were astonished at the increase or the leap forward that Egypt has made into when building
history,
the high dam.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's just glimpses, but beautiful glimpses. Ana Shabu is just, it embodies the whole story.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Mr.
exactly
Osama,
correct. Yes, ma'am.
Kulthum was a unique character, not only a famous singer, but definitely there was something about her personality, her character, because the people were surrounding her, they fell in love with her. For example, like Ahmed Rami, he had a great love story with her. Actually, we're running out of time, so I need in 1 minute.
A brief thing, brief
Yeah.
there. He wrote 134 poem in love of Kulthum. As simple as that. Ahmad Rami was a poet who loved that lady. She did not love him back, unfortunately. But she was intelligent enough to keep him close, to write, to get more creativity out of him, and in the same time, still making him feel welcomed as a friend, but not as a lover or a husband.
Mr. Osama, Kulthum performed, for people many times that don't understand Arabic, yet they still admired her art. Explain this to us.
It's basically between the voice, between the music, and the enthusiasm that she sang with, as well as how she could maintain and control or to get the necessary effect on people, to maintain and control her voice.
She was so charismatic.
Yeah, absolutely, and basically when you say something in a special manner, and she knew her capacities, as I said, she was capable of reaching the desired effect. So if I'm singing a love song, I'm Kulthum, of course, and I want the woman that I love or the man that I love to feel it in the heart, I'd say it in one way. To just being a performer, I'd say it in another, and so on. So yeah, she was intelligent in knowing and using her own capacities.
Well, Mr. Osama Futtaim, thank you, a music critic. Thank you very much for joining us today. And,
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Osama.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
dear viewers, we're going to a quick break, so please stay tuned.